YouTube, it is I. Got a smile on my face if you could only see it. But it's been a long time since the C5 has been out. And I'm looking forward to getting this thing back on the road. You know, it's been on the lift so long, I forgot it's not registered, it is insured, but then it's not inspected. So here she is. My goal is today or tomorrow to finish this project before I start my next one. But as you can see, I had to take the head unit back out. I've had some experience with pack units, and they do go bad. And so, you know, the pack unit that I had was causing the antenna to work by itself. I would look through my Ring camera, and the antenna would just be going up and down, up and down, up and down. And when you operate through a pack unit and understand how stereo systems work, it couldn't be the radio, but it has to be the pack unit. So I always recommend buying a spare, especially for these Corvettes, because it's hit or miss. Sometimes they're available at real cheap prices, and then a lot of times they triple the price. So, you know, I got two of them for like $44 a piece, so I decided to go with two, and I'm glad I did. So my goal is to finish a project, because unfortunately, us car people, you know, especially when you become overly invested in vehicles and you start to consume many of them, you have a bunch of incompleted projects. So before I start the Firebird, I'm actually going to finish up this C5, which again, the only thing I have left is to put a new pack unit in, the head unit in, and a gauge pillar, and I'm done with this. I was supposed to supercharge it this year, but changed my mind. I guess I have to take a poll. If you had the opportunity to supercharge your C5 or purchase an F body that's been on your list for a lot of years, what would you have done? So I took that money and I decided to get this F body. It is a V6, so you can do the thumbs down all you want, but my concern initially was getting a great body. And as you can see, this does have that WS6 kit with the ground effects. I did get it from an original owner. I do have the original window stickers and decals from the vehicle, which was a plus. And the interior, including is immaculate, no cracks. The only cracks really are the driver's door, which I expected, which are severe, which trying to locate a door card or a door panel has been a bit of a hard task to get anything for this vehicle nonetheless. But the passenger side was pretty good. T-tops don't leak, they're all original, got all the covers. And so again, you know, I plan on having a lot of fun with this car. I kind of wanted to do the video to show you the things that I'm actually going to get into with this project. So I have a few things that have already been ordered, but I promised myself the C5 would be complete before I finish. So obviously you gotta have drilled and slotted rotors. So those are the front, and those are the rear. Okay, I'm lowering it 1.8 inches, so I have to get lowering struts. Okay, those are there. The wheels that I got are 10.5 in the rear, but I wanted a little bit of a wider stance. I went with a 20 mil on the Vette. On this one, I actually decided to go 1.25. So wheel spacers. Go your stabilizer links for the front, because you're lowering it, right? And you got to replace that stuff anyway. Ceramic brake pads. Gotta go ceramic. Actually, if you look at the rotors, they're ceramic coated also. I would definitely recommend ceramic coated pad. Here is your rear stabilizer link kit. There go your front ceramics. And these are your lowering oil springs. So you're probably not gonna believe me, but I got all this stuff for less than $400, or maybe $422 is what it came to. So what I found is, even though the Camaro F-body and the Firebird F-body the same, when people attach Firebird to it, the price automatically goes up, which makes sense. But if you do your research and take those part numbers, you'll be able to find these parts for relatively good prices. I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head. I believe I got these ceramic coated rotors for the front for like 81 bucks. I believe I got these struts for like 117. I believe the rear ceramic rotors were, I want to say like 111. Coil springs, I think I got for 119. Brakes were like 17 bucks a piece. Stabilizer link was 20. Summit sells the rear end stabilizer kit for it, but that bushing kit was only like 40 bucks. And then the hubs, I think I paid 33. So, I mean, you're looking at less than $420 something for all this stuff, if my math is correct. Now, you got to go with a system, okay? And again, I know this is purely cosmetic. I'm actually in conversations right now with 3 speed shops, one in Horsham, one in Bath, and the other in Whitehall. We're discussing whether or not we should upgrade this motor to an LS3, which is in the newer Camaros, which is obviously a swap. LS1 is out the question. I know all of y'all, that's the first thing you're gonna say. Listen, I got a C5 Corvette. I already got the LS1. My intrigue is to try to figure out what I can get out of this V6. I know the Grand National obviously is a very different vehicle, but I know someone pushing 1,200 horse on a V6. And so you may think it's expensive, but I've been reading forums. When you cam it, right? When you change out your valves, your plugs, your ignition coils, this is on the V6. When you do forged pistons, do a Z28 rear, which is very inexpensive because unlike Firebirds, Camaros are plentiful. When you do a turbo kit on this, as well as boost controller, and I'm missing something. I'm trying to think what else. Optimize the computer. Listen, that's all you need, this V6. I'm not going to no drag strip. You know, I like to be on the street, ride my vehicles. If anyone who knows me, I ride my vehicles delicate. Even though they got some powers, I'm very delicate with my cars. The only one that I push on probably is that Maserati over there, but you know, that's what it's designed to do. You're supposed to push that. But the Firebird, really, I'm more enamored with retaining its integrity. As you well know, you know, people who collect these vehicles, and I'm not saying a V6 by any means is collectible. We know the WS6s are. But eventually this will be a collector's item if it isn't already. They're gonna want it stock. So there are a lot of modifications that I do to all my vehicles, but I make sure that they can be reverted back to stock, and I make sure I keep all my stock parts. So you wanna keep that in mind. But that being said, the only thing that's not stock on here is that exhaust, which I don't like. But I'll be getting rid of that with the turbo setup. So back to where I was distracted. In the rear, I'm actually gonna go with MB Cord 5x7s. So I'm gonna take those stock, they're riveted into the panels, and they have a tweeter, and like a 4-inch speaker separate. I'm actually gonna cut that rivet out. Again, I'm gonna keep the speakers just in case somebody wants to default back to original if I decide to sell it. But I'm actually gonna bypass, and I'm gonna hook this directly up to an amp, which is relatively simple for the set body. So I went with MB Quart. A lot of reviews. I got these for a really good deal on Amazon. But the reviews for the Formula series were phenomenal. So I went with the MB Quart 6.5s that are going to be in the back seat. And again, I'm going to bypass the monsoon system, and I'm actually going to have these and the 6.5s in the rear running directly to an amplifier. So as far as amplifier, what I decided to do for weight purposes is, unlike most of my vehicles, I just want one amplifier. I don't want, to have to run multiple amplifiers. So what I did was I purchased a 5-channel. And the importance of the 5-channel is I can run all 4 of these speakers as well as a sub off the same amplifier. So again, I'm not entering in any bass competitions, right, or any system competitions. My systems are nice, they hit, but again, I'm not competing. That's not the goal. The goal is, when I'm driving, I want to feel it. I don't care if you feel it. Again, I ordered one of those 5-channel brand new today on eBay. In fact, brand new amp. I think I paid like $65 for it. So again, if you scour the internet, there are deals. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't take hours. I mean, anytime I'm sitting in the shower, or sitting on using the bathroom, or sitting on the couch, or eating lunch, I'm looking all day for the best deal. You don't want to sacrifice quality, but you also, want to manage your money. And I know I have to save money for whether or not I decide to swap that motor out, or whether or not I decide to beef up the 6 is what I really want to do. I really want to see what I can get out of this 6. And there are people online who've gotten a lot out of those 6s. So I think I want to be one of them also. So, to go with that, I showed you these the first time, but there go your wheels, man. These are TSWs. They came off of a 640, and I really like them. They're 9 in the front and 10.5 in the back. And the reason why I like these kind of look like IROC wheels to me. You might not see it, but that's what they look like to me. So when I saw them, I had to get them. These were actually a pretty good deal. I mean, I looked online, brand new. These were well over, I think, $2,500 is what I saw. They still actually sell them on the TSW website. I got them off a guy who had them on his 640. He hated them, and he sold them to me with tires. As you can see, look at the meat on those tires, for $500. I mean, so listen, there are deals out there to be had if you're willing to spend some time looking. And me, cheap is a way of life. So, I don't like spending a whole lot of money, but I like quality. So those are the things that actually are to come. You can see the panels are actually already out. I ordered the replacement kit for the add a double din here. I actually have not ordered the double din yet because I haven't, I need to make a decision. I actually have a ton of radios here, and I want to see if I'm willing to use one of them first. Some of the Alpine units and stuff are a bit bulky. They don't fit flush. Believe it or not, some of the cheaper units, and this is what I decided to go with in my Sierra Hybrid, are like your Boss, Exovision. Some of those for these GMs actually fit real flush and almost look factory in the panel. So that might be the route that I decide to go. The amp that I bought has a bass controller, so it's no big deal. Here goes your 6.5s. They had some Kenwoods. These are 200 watt 4 ohms. They're blown. And again, I'm going to bypass them and go right to the amp. I mean, look at that. That's not even maybe 1.5 feet that you got to go run to an amp that I'm actually going to put on the rear deck lid. So I mean, right here, just like the Vet, the Vet actually doesn't have a rear seat, so I attached it wood board, so I wouldn't puncture the fuel tank. The fuel tank obviously is here, so I can do the same thing, just put like a wood board under and attach it right there. So the only thing I'm going with, this is a 10-inch. Is that 10 or is that 8? That looks like a 10. But this box was on Facebook Marketplace for like 20 bucks. They do sell a box for here that intrigued me a lot. But one, it's like 370 bucks, which isn't too bad. I mean, it's a custom and you only got to pay for it once. The biggest issue I had with it is, where do my T-tops go? So that's my problem. I need my T-tops. So if you're telling me I got to get rid of my T-tops, I think I'm fine. Again, if I'm going with weight, I only want one anyway. They actually sell another one for this side too. But I have not been able to find that gray color. They're like black. And then I don't know, how that works. If you have to remove the spare tire to fit it in there. I think some people say it requires you to cut and modify the panel for it to fit. Listen, listen. The one thing I like about this, unlike the Corvette, you got your front speakers. So that's 2 on each door. You got 6 speakers. If you add those, you got 8 speakers here. And then, so I mean, you got the sound quality is here, right? So at the end of the day, well, if you count the tweeters, because the back deck has 2, that's 10. But you got 8 to 10 speakers in this car. You don't need more than that. I mean, if you add a sub, that's 9. The right crossover with the right amplifier, sound is not going to be a problem in this car. So I'm not going to be overly crazy. I'm more concerned about how this thing performs on the street. So, this is going to be my build. I hate to, kind of bore you with this, but I kind of wanted you to know what's next to come when this Corvette C5 has finally been put back together. YouTube, you only get one life. Buy cars.